Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, The Road to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Hello, CS fans, Facebook viewers, remote regions within HLTV.org and Reddit. My name is Trey Saranthus, and I'm reporting at you live from the Intel Esports Arena for ESL, or ESL, or EPL, also to be confused with ESL Pro League. And today, we're going to be examining a situation in which an unbalanced game change has turned this into a one-sided affair. And to do that, we brought in a special Australian with the hair of that of a dingo, my friend Chad. Chad, why on earth is it that we're seeing the game going the way that we are?
Yes, Chase, I can hear you loud and clear here from the Intel Esports Arena. But look, let's look at this one, and let's just ask some questions, because I don't have the answers. I don't know why the first half was 12-3 for the T side of the Ninjas in Pajamas. Lekro was playing fantastically. He had that 1v4 buzzer beater situation, which he was able to grab there against the force buy round of NaVi, which looked so good for so long and then fell apart in the final moments. Then we flip on over, and then somehow Simple and Electronic managed to both have 1.5 or better ratings on a map that they just got shellacked on in the first half. They won that second half so convincingly, it wasn't even funny.
So let's just turn it around here, because yes, the first half being a 12-3 showing here. You're like, okay, well, this one's
done. I was already packing up my gear.
Smooth sailing. Chad's already packed up all his gear in the green room. He's ready to get it going here. And then we flip over to the other half, where in which we see 13-1 scoreline. That's right, one CT round for the likes of NiP. Now, I ask you, Chad, you're NiP. You go in the second half, start snowballing out of control.
You think you've already won?
Your little bit of cushion has already gone, but then you win one round, and that's all you've got to show for yourself. And what are you feeling about this when you have that big of a beatdown?
This time they didn't actually have to worry about the hard reset. They just had to go into a lower CT buy. But look, I want to point out Edward as the key player here for this victory. Sure, I think it was Electronic and Simple show to get them back in a position to do so, but Edward had to win a 1-on-2 situation late, and then he also had to win the they also had the great play with Simple on that B bomb site where they actually pushed through checkers and went to that A bomb site, leaving Rez in the 1-on-2 scenario with Flamey. I thought those two rounds definitely need to be attributed, or at least accredited, to big kills that were able to be put up on the board there by Edward. But if we know it once more, Electronic, Simple, Flamey, that core trio of Nardus, Vincia at the top, 1, 2, and 3, they are all firing right now, Trace, and that could be off the back of this break. And I think more teams might need to start doing similar things, taking a little bit of time off here, there, and everywhere. Maybe not attending every Counter-Strike event under the sun, but NaVi just stole that one away from the Ninjas in Pajamas, Trace.
They did, in unfortunate fashion, too. I mean, yes, you don't want to pick sides, you don't pull favorites here, but that was a long, drawn-out game, and you kind of have to attribute the update to that just a little bit, right?
Well, look, some of the economic decisions, like early in that first half, NaVi decided to go for a force fire on the CT side. They actually dropped an M4 over to Electronic. That's something that wouldn't really have been possible before. Simple was able to get a scout. He grabbed a couple kills with that. But these are different changes, different tweaks, different approaches that we are going to be seeing come in to the Counter-Strike worlds the longer these updates are going. So, look, it's still a small sample size so far, but the T sides have seemed very strong throughout this evening of ESL Pro League day numero 5.
Yes, that's right, Chad. Day number 5, we've got the last map of the night. It's going to be that of Inferno. Ninjas Pajamas taking on NaVi. That is what's going on here. But I guess as we bring our commentators in now, Chad, could this bode any differently going in here? I mean, obviously one team can start with a big heads-up lead, but it could really turn around on its head pretty quick.
Yeah, look, I think if you are the Ninjas in Pajamas and you've lost that one, it's a bit of heartbreak, you know, and everyone knows it takes a while to recover from heartbreak, so I think NaVi going to take the second map.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and tie in some guys here. You know, we bring them in here to do a lot of the heavy talking, breathing in the most air in the entire studio. It's going to be Harry and his friend Hugo. Guys, how are you feeling going into Inferno?
I mean, NaVi always famously good on this map, right? So that's always a positive to look on their side. Again, the economy will be quite interesting because of all maps we've had today, we've had so many CTs struggle to get buy rounds together. So to now have a very utility-based CT map, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Now, Harry, one might even say that you're delighted. You're a little bit agitated in a good sense of the word. Perhaps you're passionate, you're thrilled. Perhaps you're just a little bit excited. But how are you feeling, Harry?
I feel good, Trace, and let me tell you why, right? I think it's going to be interesting seeing how these economy changes affect a map like Inferno. just because, you know, we take a look at this. We're about to head into it now, actually. And for me, I'm excited because, you know, the CT utility is so critically important here on this. Yeah, I know, I said the word excited, Trace. You know, it's fine. Buy me a thesaurus for my birthday. That's a good idea.
It's not till after the season, Harry.
Yeah, I know. Well, we can celebrate it early. Oh, you've already bought a thesaurus over. Thank you. There we go.
That's so sweet. We are into this one, though, ladies and gentlemen. NiP versus NaVi. And after that, well, I don't even know. Gobbledygook in the previous map. Who knows what to expect here? We're straight into it. NaVi on the CT side, so this could be a little bit weak. Let's keep that as a factor. Simple gonna just duck on the stairs and duck to his death as Dennis finds a shot. Nice shot from Dennis to even get 2. And just like that, NiP in a massive advantage.
Yeah, Electronic going to be hidden away down in the pit. And actually, he's managed that 1 kill. Now they start to wrap in 3 T-spawn, but somehow NiP, they've been decimated in the blink of an eye. They're torn limb from limb, and it all falls onto Lecro. He's in a 1v3. He has found that first kill at the very least. But he still has so much more to do. We saw a 1v4 with 10 seconds left from this man. This time he's got a 1v2 with a minute left. If anything, his cup runneth over. Sadly, so does Electronic's kill count as he goes ahead and finds himself a double in that round, locks in the pistol here for NaVi. And this, you know, this is a big turnaround, Hugo. We have the pistol round victory coming in for the CT side, a chance for him to build up money here on a very utility-based map. So let's see, you know, can this be the good start that NaVi need?
Yeah, NaVi winning CT rounds. This is the most unlikely thing ever to expect. So pretty crazy to see. And of course, as is tradition, T-side losing pistol here, not going to be forcing anymore. They wait for that 3rd round buy instead. And again, like, knowing that NaVi are going to have these SMGs into that next round just bodes well for NiP in terms of having 5 AKs. So Zeus with a couple of kills, Edward will join the party. And 1 by 1, the birthday candles are getting blown out, but not by the birthday boy. NiP are getting bodied in that one, as to be expected. Now the buy coming through for the side of the Swedes. And here we go for NaVi. Already massive gaping holes in their weaponry. The forced bonus round for the CT side. They don't get an option, and they don't get an option in that. They have to play it because NiP 5 AKs into this 3rd round here, Harry, and even the utility to back it up.
Yeah, everything they could possibly need. Try and find something. Rez is over here towards the top of Banana. Now, he's going to try and peel their attention away. This is smoke lands on down towards the base. Edward might even get a bit tempted maybe to try and go aggressive, try and take a sneaky peek in for some information. Certainly doesn't look up to the task right now as he backs away. Zeus just going to miss this timing to go ahead and spot Get Right down in Boiler. His presence there goes unnoticed for now. NiP haven't given any sort of tell as to where they might end up, but already we see the majority of NaVi players fixated over towards this A bomb site with only 1 man here. Deep within CT, that's going to be Edward. He does have an Incendiary, he does have a smoke as well, but the second CT gets smoked off, he is locked out of this round. And if he doesn't find anything through this smoke, maybe we even see NaVi just try and save.
Oh, Lecro goes running through that Molotov just to try and clear the site. Now, this is usually dangerous because he could get mopped up by CTs there, but he gets so much info. And the site is empty as well, so no real risk for him losing that 60 HP on the cross. If anything, it's the reward of NiP now successfully moving into that bomb site and getting the plant in NaVi. They've already realized, they're already saving. This round is done. Edward's just going to look for potential exits, but with no kit here, it's not like he can late play that bomb. I'm sure NiP will check this position on the exit. There's no reason for them not to, considering the fact they were given B so easily, and they even saw that Molotov from Edward. So plenty of reason for NiP to clear the spot.
Right, now it was like a season ago,
yeah.
Henry asked me, what do we call it when all 10 people stay alive? Because I don't think there's a name for it yet. And we might have to come up with one here. You might get bailed out here.
Yeah.
I've really thrown you under this bus, but Get Right, he's always there to pull you out from underneath it. As turns out lots of people died. Oh my goodness. It's
I don't know. Have you got any good names for that? Not to, like, it doesn't matter if you don't.
No, Henry always called it like a unicorn round or something like that, but I didn't like that.
Because it's so rare.
Yeah, because it's so rare. But then it's
but
like
I mean, unicorns don't exist, so it's like
they are like the
really
rarest of rare. You know, maybe just like a really unfortunate like
what's really rare? Like, pick a really rare thing, Harry. NaVi winning CT rounds? I don't know. Like
Good tweets from Fishiest Dude.
good leaks from Fishy.
Yeah,
dude.
there we go. How's that?
Yeah, it doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't. But, you know, it's a pretty fishy round. So that might, no, I don't know where I'm going with this. Here we go. Up here towards top of Banana, it's NiP. Forrest is here. And he's looking, you know, a bit of vengeance in his eye. This used to be the position, obviously, of Freiburg. You know, the king of Banana. He has since been dethroned. But the Ninjas sitting where they built up such a legacy on this map. Going to be lining up these smokes and flashes, pushing on in. And there is just 2 players here in the form of Zeus and Edward. And that Molotov going to force Edward into the firing line. Zeus is good for 1, but the trade's there straight away to keep things in the advantage of NiP. They look to get this bomb down, and there is a man knocking on their door. That's going to be Electronic, make no mistake about it. He's trying to find something, but he can't get anything done.
More like knocking on their window there, but the wallbang won't come through. He re-smokes it just so he can exit the CT spawn and actually get away from this round, because this is done. Again, another save for NaVi. Hoping they actually get on the better side of the exits in this round, because again, in the previous, they lost a lot of players. NiP, if anything, they've got to be careful exiting as well. In fact, CT spawn push would be a far better idea right now, and I think they've realized that as well. After spotting that bottom banana control, they clear out the construction, or the ruins. What do you call this? Construction, ruins, church? I mean, it's got a lot of names.
I say ruins.
You say ruins. Okay. Well, this round is ruined for NaVi alongside their economy because, again, saving players. We can have drops over. Edward can buy. Flamey can give him a gun over to Zeus, and we can have 5 rifles here, so that's not the worry. The worry is the fact that NiP have now bounced back 2 in a row here on the T side, so looking to try and break the cash here from NaVi. You can only save so long, Harry. Eventually, NiP will actually find those exit kills once they've built up their own money. And they're starting to do exactly that. Going back for another quick B approach is going to be a couple of players of NiP, but Simple peeks down mid and finds Letcro early on. Nice Molotov to do damage to Rez as well. Oh, the nade is not going to land. Forrest has found both kills, and even though he sat in the flames and he ran to his death, that's so much impact considering how far NiP were down out of that round initially. He's brought it back to a salvageable situation. And NiP are all grouped up down bottom mid, so they can give this one another go. They don't have to commit towards B, and Flamey throwing down utility is just going to keep them at bay anyway, so they set their sights on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, you have so many fond memories of NiP on this exact map, so it's not one that you can really afford to underestimate them on. Electronic over here in the apartments. Going to be edging his way forward. Rez won't quite catch the timing onto him, and this could allow Electronic to find these players down in mid. The timing's going to be everything here. And oh, they've gone by him, but Dennis able to readjust quickly. Now leaves all the pressure on a Flamey. He sits down in the pit, and as they barrel on into him, Dennis going to continue this spree of entries as NiP look poised to pick up a 3rd round. Only Simple left alive, and he backs away to hold on to the AWP.
That's a nice call from NiP as well. NaVi were running a pretty standard setup in that 3-on-3. They put the AWP solo B, because again, with an AWP, you can easily hold an angle, get a shot, fall back, get another shot, and have a couple of opportunities to take these fights, whereas with a rifle, it's ways to punish you and get that trade after just 1 shot, because again, you have to continue that spray. So, very common to see 2-man A setups and then just the solo AWP, and NiP choose to run into the double stack rather than Simple. I don't blame them. Definitely an easier approach going through the apartments. Keeping all 3 players alive in that 3-on-3 is going to be nice as well. So T side money starting to build up, and Harry, finally we've had the money break of NaVi. It was a couple of saves in a row down bottom banana. Not anymore. Do you want to give us a little B stream update?
I certainly do, because it looks pretty interesting over there at the old B stream. Currently, Space Soldiers, or X-Space Soldiers, or SpaceX Soldiers, however you want to pronounce it, going to be sitting up 11-7 versus FaZe on their CT side of Inferno. So
crazy.
That sounds like an interesting. Maybe open up both streams, give them both a listen at the same time.
Big also won both their games today as well for note.
Ooh, Flamey managing one with the Deeg there, but that's not going to be enough. Zeus with a Zeus. He's going to be up in the hoose, finding himself a frag, and that's the bomb drop down at his feet. Ooh, maybe a bit more, but no, not quite. He does have Simple here to help out, and he's laying down the pain from the pit position. Edward now chimes on in with another. And NaVi picking up a third round.
Out of nothing.
Zeusception.
That'll do. What a ridiculous round for NaVi. I mean, NiP just bursting out of the apartments into the hands of the CT side. Well, Zeus was the one bursting inside of the apartments, bursting that, I was about to call it flame, but electric spark, I guess.
Electric
Flash.
field.
Yeah, bit of MGMT coming through. Flash over the top of Banana. That's going to allow this triple peak for NaVi. Doesn't really have the same ring. Zeus is still going to be committing to it as well with Edward as they begin to push down. They have those deep smokes, and that's a sick nade. Oh my god, that must have taken like 150 damage. Ridiculous. Simple going to run into it, not expecting it, but he still gets away with a kill because it is Simple after all. Flamey tries to finish off that frag, but Electronic peeks up from long and does it instead. That flashbang is high, and it might catch out players on the site, but he won't peek into it regardless because Get Right has his angle, locking him in the corner as the bomb plant comes in. Headshot position from Get Right, but they peek together, and Electronics found that kill. Flamey's even followed up to the bomb planter, and Forest is too far away.
They're still not on the bomb. Forest has been given time, and Kit on Electronic, he's not the man on the bomb, though. They spot out Forest. He's managed the kill. Time's ticking down here, and you can't let Forest have these sort of situations as he's just toying with his food right now. They spot him out as short. Flamey does manage to delete the man in question. That will be a 4th round for NaVi, but even then, you start to get a little bit worried. We're seeing some vintage performances here from Forest as he looks to try and roll back the years in this NiP squad.
Remember, this is only a 2-man core of the old school NiP squad that you're talking about, Harry.
Yeah.
So, only Get Right and Forest still remaining on this roster. Ooh, Simple. That's going to be a flashbang up. He gets blinded, forced away. Luckily enough, he won't get punished for that, but gets a chance to reposition. The molly forces Rez forward, but the nades still land behind him, and Zeus goes in for the frag, but it won't work out. Rez is so low. Edward wants to try and follow up and attempt to trade this, but there's so many T's on the other side. He just gets overwhelmed, and now Flamey's going to need to come into question. He needs to try and step up and keep this round alive. That flashbang, not going too well for him. Nor will Simples. And actually, they expected a very fast approach towards this B site after those initial picks, but with all the utility being spotted by NiP, they slow it down. They go back towards this A site. Only temporarily, because it is just that lurk from Get Right up short, and that could be very well timed, because right now, NaVi, they're going for a triple B play. This is a really good decision. The problem is, if Get Right actually walks up into A and realizes it's fully clear, we might just see a complete rotation from NiP. They should definitely not push Banana until Get Right's played for the info here, because he's about to get every last bit of information that NiP could use. That bomb's begun its rotation, and NaVi wondering where it all went wrong.
Yeah, that's sort of the issue. I mean, it was always the case in the back of the day. You kind of struggled to do any sort of gamble play like that versus Get Right. He was so good at finding the holes in your defense. And, you know, he's been on a bit of a hiatus, been on a bit of a holiday from his, you know, big old treks in through CT spawn, but he looks to be up to the task now once again. Simple. 1v4. Look at how low everyone is on NiP. It's such a devastating round for NaVi to have to give away. They go hunting for Simple, and they do manage to find him as well. So 4th round there for the Ninjas, and no money left for NaVi in this round.
Keeping this as close as can be. Oh, Harry, they're doing it again. Oh no, what is this? They bought up. Apart from Zeus. Oh, what's he doing? He doesn't know. No one knows. This spy doesn't make any sense. Simple's on an AWP. No one else has anything to play with. I mean, you really just are hoping for Simple to get a kill here. Or 4. NaVi are under-equipped. Very limited utility as well. This is NiP's chance to really run away with a T side, but Edward, he doesn't want to give them the satisfaction. Deeg from the coffin, he puts Forest in one. We smoke down on Banana as well to keep NiP at bay, and they can start retrieving guns and throwing them out the map. That's a good decision there from Reds. Don't allow NaVi to harvest these rifles.
If I'm not mistaken, I think when that fell, you can actually boost to grab it. So I might be entirely out of the map. I'm not sure it's going to play into this round all too much, though, as we are going to see NaVi starting to push on in. And actually, yeah, it didn't actually quite go out the map. So
yeah, No one will find that, surely.
I don't know. RV, they have 3 players here. NiP starting to edge on it forward, and one of these going to be simple on this AWP. They have to try and overcome. Barreling through that smoke going to be Zeus. He's only good for 1 kill. As now the pressure falls onto Edward. And Simple doesn't have armor to hide behind. He's doing a great job, though, of getting their attention away from Edward, who's now going to emerge in the back, but he does get discovered by Rez. The 3v3 ensues, and no one down towards the banana. NaVi will be discovering that rifle. It was dropped what seems like decades ago now. Still sticking around, still struggling to exit away. Simple will get discovered, and now Flamey left in this 1v2. Almost given that frag, and always done good damage. He's gonna find one, and now just Lecro left to try and topple. Taps on the bomb to get their attention. Time ticking down. He's gonna get all the kills. There's no time to find the round and get that defuse, but it will still be everyone dying on the side of NiP. Flamey survives.
And that's why it annoys me when NaVi go for these kind of buys, because if you can get that close with such limitations, why are you not at least saving up for these full rifle rounds, right? You're just giving NiP more and more money, more and more lead on the T side, which is already difficult enough. We know NaVi are a T-sided team. We know that, you know, the scoreline, especially with the current meta and the money, shouldn't be a huge problem if NiP take the half as a terrorist team. But if you're NaVi, why are you giving them so many opportunities? And then they force buy again in back-to-back rounds. Now we have another AWP for Simple. That's great, but nothing else is. They have nothing behind this AWP. A FAMAS, a UMP, an MP9, a pistol. You can't keep doing this on CT Inferno. It will not work.
The justification for it, though, right, is, you know, you have NiP so close to being reset. You got so close in that previous round. They're going to try it again. The buy is better. Zeus able to open up. Electronic going to keep the man advantage up in favor of NaVi. Dennis and Electro answer back, and they answer back in a big way. They don't just send an RSVP. They've crashed the entire party. It's Simple left in a 1v3 now in CT. Up in hand, and time working against him. I think finally NaVi just going to have to concede and look to hold on to this into the next round. Finally, you might just see the eco here.
It is the risk reward, and yes, you're right. They can break the money. They can get into the game by just winning one of these rounds, but doing it in back-to-back rounds, I mean, that's crazy. And, you know, maybe I would eat my words if NaVi won it, but so far it has been unsuccessful. I'd like to see me proven wrong. I'd like to see NaVi win one of these rounds, keep it close and competitive, but NiP have been playing some stellar Counter-Strike on this T side. Nice switch up a pace again, going fast up towards A, winning all their individual duels. There weren't even any, you know, heavy team play double peaks or setups with utility. It was just like Lecro walking up short and killing everyone. But hey, that's the recipe for success, so be it. 6-4 to NiP. Don't buy here, NaVi. That's a bad idea, and they realize it as well. So it is just the half buy. A couple of pistols here and there. Mainly an eco. They haven't got a lot of loss bonus, so it's not all bad. But this scoreline certainly isn't good. As NiP, they should be up to 7 rounds after this.
Edward, not good for anything over here at the top of Banana. Deeg this time doesn't do any damage. Get Right's even dropped Flamey there over towards the apartments. So now there is just one man here inside of B. He's about to get discovered by Forest. You can see the bomb rotating round. Zeus is good for 1, maybe even 2. And wow, oh my goodness, that's a fantastic, you know, godlike flash as well, throwing in from CT. That bomb's gone running back here towards this A bomb site, but Electronic, now he's picked up an AK, trying to fight back, and suddenly it's just Lecro left alive. In a 1v3, minute left on the clock, and while he has spotted out Electronic, he's done the damage. He's still going to get toppled over here in the apartments. It's a slaughterhouse as NaVi pick themselves up a 5th, seemingly from nowhere. That round, they had the least bought into it, and they managed to find it.
And it wasn't even simple. He was the only player with a gun. Of all rounds for NaVi to win, it cannot be that one. Oh my god. Simple didn't even get a kill. We just had pistols go off there for NaVi. That is out of this world. And that's so good for them as well. Look at the money. Look at the weaponry. Look at the utility. All 3 boxes with a big old check. And NiP, they've been crushed and bound out of this round in terms of their weaponry. They're going for this single eco. They're not going to just straight up force into things to keep this war going. They will just decide to play standard for 1 round. And it's fine. You can afford to give away a round when you're 6-5 up on the T side of Inferno. It'll be 6-6 after this. Unless they win it, hey, it's possible. We saw NaVi do the exact same. Zeus with the nade into the middle. He peeks with it. Nice double peek. Him and Flamey getting away with a frag apiece. And the smoke even cuts off the repeek from the Swedes in middle. Rez is going to give him his best to go for this solo B play, but Edwards found it out. Now 2 more players from NiP. Last bit of utility is used. Edward ready with a repeat. That flashbang is so good. And he gets himself a couple more. Nice anti-eco kills to build up the confidence and build up the round score. 6-6 here for NaVi.
Yeah, all tied up. Yeah, let's see this buy coming back in for the Ninjas. There's going to be 3 AKs and a couple of UMPs, but you can see Get Right, Rez, and Dennis all a little bit spare on the old utility. 4 flashbangs between the 3 of them. 2 smokes and 1 Molotov here for NiP to look to try and use. That does mean really, you know, you don't have that kind of freedom to throw any sort of fake out. Really, you have to commit to the one strategy that you look to try and run. They're setting up early on over here toward A, but you can see it. NaVi, for the first time in a long time, haven't been tested over here towards Banana. And that feels unusual. They start to rotate players around to try and get into this A bomb site, but you still need the NaVi guys here to hold their own. Electronic in the pit, gonna manage 2, but Lecro there, instantly able to trade back. And ultimately, it looks like NiP winning out the majority of these gunfights. The bomb goes down inside of this A bomb site, and for Edward and Simple, they've backed away. They're looking like they've already given this up, and indeed they have. It's going to be round number 7 on the board for NiP.
And wasn't it Dennis saying in an interview recently that he wasn't really happy with his performance, that he hasn't really been playing up to standard, and etc., etc.? You know, while his calls have been fine, individually he's not been satisfied. He has been the man of the day for NiP. In the previous game, top fragging when they obviously lost versus NaVi on Mirage. He put up 22 kills, second top fragging earlier on Train against Astralis. I mean, and he's playing great right now as well. This man has been instrumental in finding so many of these opening kills alongside Lecro for the side of NiP. So definitely stepped up in that regard, and it's nice to see. As now he sits top of the scoreboard for his team after that round. 7-6 here. The rebuys are in. Of course, NaVi did win the Nico a couple of rounds prior, so remember the fact that they've got plenty of money. But this is where it could all go to waste, Harry, if NiP can win their 8th. That being said, it's a full buy for both teams at the end of the half. Or at least for NaVi. If they lose this round, they can still buy it next round.
Well, they might have to worry about losing this round. Hugo Edwards found himself a quick double. Simple even going aggressive. Goes toe-to-toe with Get Right and does come out trumps in that engagement. Good nade as well. Going to find Forrest and Dennis. Trying to spread 50 damage thinly between the 2 of them. So much utility being expelled here by NiP. It's Net and Dennis, that 1 kill. He's already up past the Molotov, but luckily enough, Zeus is there. Finds that first. Forrest now left in a 1v4. He's good for that first kill. Ooh. He's trying to dupe them though. Back toward Banana he goes. NaVi with 3 players all towards CT. Does leave this avenue of the map open. Electronic beginning his rotation background. Now has to go toe-to-toe versus Forrest. 50 seconds left. All the time in the world here. This lone Swede, and he's going to go ahead and grab that bomb plant. Will he be ready for Electronic? Hot on his heels. He will most certainly not. The 7-7, Hugo all tied up. NaVi keeping 3 players alive as well means that they can cruise into a very decent buy here in the last round of this first half. You look over at NiP, and it's not great. Just going to be... it's pretty much everything they would need.
That's fine. Apart from the UMP on Forest and the lack of armor and res, it's not really a problem. And considering there's AKs and an AWP on Simple, that lack of head armor won't really matter too much. Chances are it won't affect anything. Simple mollied off, doesn't give a damn. Res is already gone, and there we go. Head armor would not have saved him from that kill, Harry. AWP headshot. That's a boatload of damage. That's like 536 damage.
Yeah, it would have just been a little bit short with the head armor. Well, NiP in response, trying to seize control of the top of mid. My goodness, voice crack. But let's see, as GetRight looks to try and find the crack in the defense of NaVi. I want to try and relate more things perhaps to crack. Dennis has been playing absolutely unreal right now, and it has been a real drug of us to watch as he's been positively addicted. Hugo. Really hamstrung that one in there.
Nice.
Zeus mollying off the corner. They go pushing on through, and actually, he's good for the first. Still going to continue this pressure. GetRight rushing into him. Zeus is able to chain together a couple of kills here at long. Bomb dropped, and in the blink of an eye, it's Letcro in a 1v5. Called him the Clutch King a few times. But sadly, he's going to get decapitated.
8 to 7.5 for NaVi there. Certainly a good comeback considering the start NiP had. What was that, 6 to 4 at the beginning? It looked like NiP were just crunching that economy. We had all these force buys from NaVi that just weren't working out, and then boom, one magical eco on like round number 9, and NaVi win it with 4 pistols and a saved AWP that doesn't even get a kill, and then boom, they're back in the game. They win a couple of CT rounds from then on, and the rest is history. They are in the league going forward, and that definitely doesn't bode well. If you think back to that previous map, Harry, again, NiP getting 12-3 half on their T side, and then swapping over and still losing 16-13. So what we know from that is NaVi are damn good at these terrorist halves, and now they're moving over to exactly that already with a hefty lead. Well, not exactly hefty, but a decent lead. 8 to 7, and again, we've thrown up into question how T-sided is this game going to become? Are we going to see any CT-sided maps at this point? Because I mean, even looking at recent events, Star Series I think is a cool example, only because it doesn't have any top 5 teams. Almost every map was like looking pretty equal, if not more T-sided. Like the most CT-sided map was Train, and then it was Mirage. I mean, Nuke wasn't even close to being one of the most CT-sided maps, and a lot more maps were T-sided, in fact. So, again, maybe due to the level of teams there, like very different CS being played, but I'm interested to see if this money change really does curb that and make this entire game T-sided, because right now, that seems to be the case, especially with all the force buys we're seeing, the economical decisions being made after losing Pistol as a terrorist and just going for that eco.
The thing that I'm still struggling with, right, is like, you know, it has a big implication on how these first few rounds are played out, right? But then it does feel like teams as well are just being, that we've seen today, being more careless, it feels like, perhaps, with the CT economy. Maybe as a result, maybe because you have that crutch to fall back on, like, well, you know, T-side's still a bit overpowered right now. I don't know. Only time will tell. But,
yeah, we're still in the first week of this taken into account.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we have no idea how this is going to go.
There's still plenty of time for this to change. You never know, right? Initially, some changes might, you know, you go into it making the change for it to change one thing, make it perhaps more CT-sided or more T-sided. Then it has the complete opposite approach when players work out new and kind of exciting ways to use things, maybe in the ways in which they weren't initially intended. I mean, that's part of the fun of it.
Valve could even go back on this change. They could delete the game. You have no idea. So always remain vigilant and aware.
Please do not start, like, just... Guys, next update, everything's gone. We're starting again. It's a MOBA now.
Oh, 1.6. People would love that.
Well, yeah, maybe. But let's wait and see. We won't hold our breath for any big old deleting updates just yet. Here's Dennis over here in the apartments. He's looking to try and delete a couple of players as they come his way. And instead, he's flopped and fallen. Electronic is the man to open up. As now man advantage resides with NaVi, they're going to try and act fast and hit this A-bomb site.
Yeah, there's 2 players hiding in the site, though, trying to stop this bomb from ever getting close. And Forrest, he cannot connect the shot. Letcro has dropped the bomb, but it's a double trade right back from the side of NaVi. These quick flanks coming up through Arch from Rez is not going to be able to do a thing. Electronic has been so damn good at these T-side pistol rounds, and although he runs into his death there, it shouldn't make a problem. But GetRight's found himself 2. That will be it. Zeus is on the flank. But Electronic, he has had so many sick Glock rounds. I think every T-side Glock pistol round he's had today has been like 2 or 3 kills, pretty much. So shout out to Electronic for really stepping up at a crucial point.
I don't feel like we've seen NaVi lose a T-side pistol round yet. So, yeah, definitely. He's having a field day. And then that also, I think, contributes to this very, very strong T-side that we've been seeing from NaVi. They find the pistol round early on. And, you know, you've immediately grabbed NiP by the crown jewels at this point. They're going to be struggling to get back into this one. You can see the effect it's had. They've had to go for the eco now. They have a dig up on Letcro. Some And what, 5-7 here on Get Right as he looks to try and stand his ground. Okay, the first hurdle. This is going to be a 10th round on the board for NaVi.
And just like that, if you're NiP, you're questioning whether it's even worth staying here. Like, you know NaVi have all these SMGs. Don't give them the money. Simple's definitely seen that player. He knows. He just doesn't want to shoot and miss. He's just waiting for him to leave. Oh, this is bullying. Oh, he's telling his team. Here we go. There it is. Flamey comes in with a good old wall penetration. And, well, nice position from Rez, but he's only going to get one for it. And yeah, that's when you definitely question as a CT side, like, do we go for exit here? Because they get one kill out of it. Fine, whatever. You take down Flamey. You also lose 4 players to SMGs that round, I think. Or, sorry, 3 players to SMGs that round. That is not what you want if you're NiP, because you've just given $1,800 over to NaVi. So, full M4s in round number 3.5. And while the T-side first round buy is always fantastic, it's not quite the same story for CT, especially not considering this is Inferno and you need that utility. NiP barely have any.
Yeah, this is why I wonder if we're going to see teams elect to go for this earlier buy all too often. You know, you run the risk now of, on the back, having no utility, going down to these SMGs, upgrading a few of these players that otherwise, you know, wouldn't have too much to work with here.
Yeah, my best case scenario is if you lose pistol as CT, you force first round, you eco second round, and then you know, assuming you lose, you force second round, you eco third round, and then you buy fourth round. It's kind of just the same as it was before, almost, but with more money, right? And you'll just make your first buy better, because we looked at the old first buys for CTs were already pretty awful. So
yeah, I mean, this is reasonably comparable, I guess, to that, and that's why we see teams go for it. But look at this, NaVi, you're going to try and run the gauntlet into this B bomb site. They have to get past Rez, though. He was acting as judge, jury, and execution. He's going to get shut down. Let Crow through the smoke, chiming in with another. Emily and Edward left up, and you can't put a stop to Let Crow as he's found a quick double. Edward now left with his back against the wall in a 1v3, and all these players down towards CT and Ruins. This is by no means an easy task here for Edward.
Yeah, they're even going to give him the plant as well. If he tries to tap it, there's no way they'll let him. Let Crow with a double peek here. Oh, he even gets the angle, but he just peeks a little bit too wide, so Dennis can actually take him down. But yeah, I mean, let's look back to old loss bonus, right? It's CT. If you lose the pistol, you force buy, you eco, then that, you know, eventual fourth round buy is always pretty bad. Like you'll have about 4,200, and you'll have, you know, M4, armor, smoke flash, kit, maybe on a player. But now, if we have more money and you force buy first round, and maybe you force buy, you spend about 1,200, you buy a P250 body armor, or I don't know, something. Eventually, on that third round, you're going to have a pretty good buy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, NiP ecoed, and they did get away with it when they went into their first buy round. So now they're going to be rewarded with all this utility. But Zeus runs through that exact utility down on Banana, runs to his death. Electronic, the same fate. Rez is going to find 2 in Banana, and that's a massive opener.
Just Edward and Simple left up. Edward sneaking on round 2, the short position. Does spot out Let Crow, and actually does more than that. Just Dennis here, and suddenly, trapped in this 1v2, hiding behind the pillar. Dennis delivers, at least on that first kill. Edward gonna try and get this bomb down, wrapping around through short is Rez, and he does catch him just as he gets off of it, so not enough time. Edward punches in the numbers, but then gets riddled full of holes. That's gonna be the round going the way of NiP. 9-10 is the score right now. And on the back of that bomb plant, Hugo, there's not all too much money still to work with for NaVi, so likely just going to be a partial buy here.
Yeah, it's not too bad. CZ's armor. Bit of this, bit of that for NaVi, not fully forcing, and I always respect that decision. As rare as it comes out. We've got a couple of Tech 9s here, Harry. Rolling back the years. I'm in full support. I played a bit of Tech 9 myself on Wingman yesterday before I flew out here. And I rather enjoyed that gun. It's actually quite cool. I think it's just because it's been a while, but let's see if they can get anything with it. Oh, that's awkward. Dennis sprays down Edward, so he certainly can't. Flamey is going to get his way up long, but Tech 9 not known for its range. Let Crow will dispatch at him pretty quickly, and Dennis can only find one more before he eventually falls. This is still a safe round for the Ninjas. And just like that, it's done and dusted. So 4 players surviving here for the NiP side. 10-10 scoreline, Harry. We're getting close.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking like another game that could very easily go the distance here, Hugo. We're all tied up, and now the buy comes back in for NaVi.
They must have, they completely overinvested in that previous round if they wanted to buy up here.
Yeah, it's pretty yikes. You know, you take a look at that. You got, what, 3 smokes, 2 flashbangs, 2 Molotovs.
Simples on a Galil.
Yeah, one of the reasons why this is also kind of terrifying is if you lose any one of these players early on, like they almost have, you're losing such a significant portion of your utility as well. So, it will be fortunate. At least everyone only having 1 nade means they're retrievable, I guess, if you really want to look for some silver linings here. You get 100% return on that.
Always the optimist.
Always. Here's Edward charging forward. He's going to get tagged up by Lecro, but he still wins the fight. Still able to open things up here for NaVi. Now you can see Get Right pulling on round. What? He gets bested by Flamey. Now that CT open wide up, NaVi going to go to take this all day long as they look now to try and wrap into this B bomb site. The pressure is on for the lone defender of NiP. Dennis starting his rotation round. Edward going to be holding the angle, and if they win this fight, maybe NiP have a chance.
Oh, there's no way Dennis checks the spot though, surely. He's being so careful, but this corner, he's very fearful of both sides. Reds has actually slowed down this pusher. Dennis doesn't need to go, but he does check the spot. Edward, he had a good off angle there, but he's not going to be able to connect. Now Red's still here. He could stop this whole round if Electronic can't land his shot, and he cannot. Reds has gotten away with another kill. Cheeky in the ruins, and even Dennis firing off onto Simple. It's only Zeus left back up with 23 points of health, and Reds has made this round a reality. Zeus has to shut it down on his own, and he does have the option for a 1v1 here, but that nade is going to go over the top. Rez peeking into it, and what a fantastic round of Counter-Strike from Rez. 11 on the board for NiP. He plays that solo B, Harry. He not only locks down the CT split with Banana, but he also comes in for the retake and cleans up that final kill.
Yeah, that was an absolutely unbelievable hold. You look at, you know, how that transpires with players wrapping in through CT, guys pushing up through Banana. There should be no way that you're able to find too much there. So he does an absolutely stellar job of staying on top of things. Wins out that initial fight in towards CT, peeks on in, gets that kill onto Electronic over Oranges as well. And Dennis, you know, has the hindsight to just hold back, wait for the rest of the team to come rotating in. That's where you see Dennis pick up that second to last man. And ultimately, Zeus can't get that done in the 1v3.
A big part of that is the early damage done down long for NiP put so many Na'Vi players on low HP, so they didn't want to challenge, they didn't want to take fights. The only man who had health, full health on that bomb site was Electronic, and he missed a shot when Rez rounded the corner on Coffin, so he was gone instantly, and as a result, the round fell apart, and there we go. 11 to 10 now. We assume Na'Vi would have this strong T side, but it is yet to be proven. In fact, all that's really happened is a couple of awkward economical decisions, and now they're going back in for the buy. Electronic saved 2k. He's on a CZ. I mean, at this point, I'm lost. Obviously, he wanted the utility, and he wasn't able to afford an AK behind that, but still, this is not the pitch-perfect buy that Na'Vi would be hoping for. They've yet to have Simple on that ult on the T side. He's barely got an AK. I think this is like one of the first times we've seen him on it. And so, yeah, okay, Na'Vi, they may have had a very strong CT side, quite the contrary to what we're used to today, but this T side has been silent since that second round.
I'll get right. Here's those footsteps over at the top of Banana, but Na'Vi, they've since scouted out ground elsewhere. Turning their attention instead towards these apartments here outside of A. Well, 2 players here, NiP anticipating this is going to be a B play from Na'Vi with the third man now rotated around. That leaves a lot of pressure here on both Dennis and Forrest. They look to try and run down the hatches. Dennis, who's looked absolutely fantastic thus far for Na'Vi. He's going to whiff his opening shot. Does manage to stay alive, and now he's going to just buy time for the rest of the team to head on in. But through the smoke, Edward shading together 2 quick kills has made this round very, very possible for Na'Vi. And in fact, they're going to get it for free. Get Right and Rez want no business retaking this. They both decide to concede this round. 11-11, all tied up as this continues to get closer and closer.
And look at that kill distribution on Na'Vi. 11 to 18, but who's on the 11? It's Simple. Certainly not who you want at the bottom of the scoreboard. And although everyone else is pulling their weight, this could be one of the key reasons Na'Vi is having a bit of a problem. Talking of problems as well, Get Right 6 kills on him. Definitely a shame to see, considering he's had some high highs already today and some low lows. NiP still in, well, I was about to say still in the lead. That's about to change. It is 11-11. Draw coming through for NaVi. And now the money is going to be called into question here for the CT side. They have enough players to drop stuff over. Rez and Forest can bail out the rest of the team, so this is fine. It's more about the longevity of the money, and that goes both ways, Harry.
Yeah, it certainly does. Both teams going to be really staring down the barrel of a pretty troublesome economic period here. Such a key juncture in this game as well. 11-11, as you say, all tied up. And there's Lecro's aggression down through mid. Nets them an early double.
Oh my god.
Dennis chiming in with another, and Simple, try as he might to answer back. He's actually going to do that in a very big way. Picks up 2, and that's made the shroud possible for NaVi. Zeus and Simple. Charging up Banana. Get right. Well, he has done damage. He's brought down just as low. Dennis is left here to try and hold this, and he pops the cross, but Simple finds the third. He's onto a hat-trick now, and it's a 2v2 with Get Right brought down to 19 HP. NaVi not out of this one just yet. Let's not forget, this was a 2v4 at one point in time.
Yeah, definitely over-facing from NiP after having those advantages. Like, of course, Lecro got stuck down bottom mid. He has to commit to that there. But Dennis, no reason to take that fight into middle with the AWP. It opens up the A bomb site. It forces NiP to split their attack, or sorry, defense. And now you know, no matter which site NaVi push, you're in a 1v2, and Get Right's got to get at least one kill there. He won't even do that. So Zeus has opened this up. Simple's going to attempt to trade him in if Get Right were to get that frag. And now with the bomb going down, Rez has got such a difficult retake. The only plus side is this bomb plant is very weird for the post plant Simple's taken. Some surprise going on there for NaVi. He can't play that bomb, but with the crossfire from Zeus at the back of the site, it honestly shouldn't make any difference. We have a Molotov on both players. Rez has nothing to play with. I mean, this is NaVi's round. Through and through, it's done.
Well, he has been able to retrieve an Incendiary. Maybe that opens up some possibilities. He throws that down towards the pit, but it is not for the right section. And now just easy for Simple. 12-11. 4 kills for him, 1 for Zeus in that round. And that's going to be a harsh reset as well for the Ninjas in Pajamas. And a pretty, sobering round as well. Yeah. You're up 4v2, you're feeling confident, but you can never start to feel too confident when you're up against a man like Simple. As long as he's still alive, you cannot be giving up those one-on-ones. And NiP coming to regret a lot of the decisions made there in that round. And
we just mentioned, like, bottom fragger in his team as well. I mean, he's still bottom fragger in his team, but he just came in with an absolutely huge round. Bailing NaVi out at probably the most important point we've had this entire map. It's broken the economy and put NaVi in the lead all in one round, but Rez, one round of 50 cal to the face of Zeus, and that is all that's needed. Problem is, again, NaVi is still just ignoring that factor and walking up towards this A bomb site where more pistols sit. So Dennis, he needs to try and repeat in the fashion that Rez started. Going to be unable to do so. Damage in the apartments. This is getting dicey here for Edward. Flamey get a bail on him, but that flashbang not going through. Dennis has dropped the bomb. He won't follow up because Simple's up on long, and he's traded it back for 2. Only Lecro left up. And no clutch today. It's NaVi up to 13-11.
Yeah, it's so even over on the side of NaVi, and then you look to NiP, and really you've been looking towards Dennis, Rez, and Lecro to put up the numbers. It's Get Right and Forest, the two kind of old guard of NiP, really falling behind here. And you think about the performance on Mirage, these two both had a pretty decent time of things, and even earlier today in their games versus Astralis, but here on Inferno they both look to have fallen silent at a very crucial time. And for NaVi, you look at Simple right only on 17, and you think, oh, that's great for NiP. Like, he's not top of the board, he's not top in the charts, but hey, everyone else is anyway, right? Yeah. And then it also makes you wonder, like, what if Simple does start to come back into this in a very, very simple-esque way, as he has done in these last few rounds. But yeah, Symmetry fans around the world can rejoice. Let's see, though. NaVi going to try and steal away control of top mid. That flash misses its mark a bit, but they go on the back of it anyway. Flamey and Edward finding all the openers in the world. Just Lecro here at long to try and keep his demons at bay. Sadly, not going to go his way. That's the bomb planted. A 14th round on the board for NaVi. NiP going to back away to save.
if you're Na'Vi, you should chase it. Get rid of those guns. Try and take at least one more weapon out of the hands of NiP, because that can go so far. And Electronics are going to drop that AWP on Rez as well, and Banana. They still have one on Lecro, but that's, again, that's going to be forcing rebuys against 14 rounds for Na'Vi, and NiP, they don't have more than $50 or $100 in the bank. That's all they've got. Get Right will get a kill on the retreat. And Lecro at least trying to make things costly with another frag on that orb, but things are falling apart here for NiP, and this couldn't have been a worse time for that. And the worst part is if this carries on and Na'Vi win this game, is NiP have had two ridiculously close maps versus Na'Vi, but not being able to close either one of them, despite, I mean, the previous map, they had a huge lead. And this map, not as big, but they still had a lead. What was it? That was, it was 11 to 10? 11 to... something like that, 11 to 9, I don't know. They had a significant lead on the second half, and it's not looked so great in the previous few.
Yeah, it was 12-9.
12-9.
No, not 12-9, sorry. They're only at 11 rounds. 11-9. Same thing. But, yeah, Na'Vi managing to find success in these last few. Now back in the lead. Wow. Lecro. Oh, just going to miss the timing there, tagged up. Even going to get finished off by Edward. Electronic, he might be up in the air, but he still goes out and dispatches the Dennis. It is just Rez and Get Right left up. The two players that... Well, one of the two players that looked to try and save in the previous now might have to think about doing that again. It's a 2v3 though. They're going to look to try and go for it on the back of Rez finding that kill. The one issue you've got is that sneaky beaky man in the back line, Edward. Just lying and wait. Get Right. There's no way he sees that coming. No way in a million years. Rez even brought down to his knees, 18 HP. They want to try and take this gun off of him. Electronics hunting him down. He does manage to get away narrowly by the skin of his teeth, but you can see Na'Vi, they've got the bloodlust. They want to try and steal this M4 away. As Na'Vi reach match point, they need to take everything from the Swedes. They don't want them to have even the faintest glimmer of hope.
Wow, they really dropped the ball in this one. 15 to 11. That's got to hurt for NiP, as Na'Vi are one round away from closing out this and taking their second map of the night up against NiP. Taking into account they also won both games versus Space Soldiers earlier on today, so this could be a fantastic day for Na'Vi, going flawlessly in their first match as a Pro League as well. This is week 2, but this is Na'Vi's first day playing, and they could be 4-0 in just one round's time. We have a P90 for Forest, so that explains about how well this game is going for NiP, and Get Right's already dead in Banana. That's not a surprise. Na'Vi have been locking down this position in the last few rounds. Already a man advantage up, and no op needed despite all the cash hit for Na'Vi. They've not shown it on Simple this entire half, and they don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, even now, they're just sat back waiting ever so patiently, knowing that somewhere NiP are going to look for some information, try and catch a break, try and find something. And here's Rez at Banana, who might give up exactly that. Zeus goes peeking into it. Will he anticipate this second man nearby? He does spot Dennis, and he's going to go ahead, charges up Banana, finds his second of the round, and that's his B-bomb site cracked wide open. Suddenly, it's just Lecro and Forest left up. Make that only Forest, one man, and a P90.
I mean, he's been sold hook, line, and sinker, Harry. That bomb's on the A bomb site. It's not even going for the plant. Simple is chasing through the CT spawn with a bomb to kill Forrester. He's that desperate for the frag, and he'll get it as well. Na'Vi winning that map, 16 to 11, and they take both against NiP tonight here for the ESL Pro League.
Yeah, that also means Navi's debut here at the Pro League is a flawless one. They go 4-0 in their games tonight, so a fantastic start to the season for these guys. And for NiP, that kind of very hit and miss beginning, that kind of really rough time we've seen them have of it, looks to continue here in the Pro League. So yeah, they split the series versus Astralis, then go 0-2 versus Na'Vi. We're going to bring back Chad and Trace. How are you guys feeling after that one?
You know, some words like drongo come to mind, which I don't exactly know what that is, but my Australian counterpart once said it to me. Now, yes, this was a strong showing from Na'Vi, kicking it off. Chad, hold on, because I want to ask you if you had any revelations when it comes down to your verbiage.
vocabulary.
Yeah, you provided me very, very helpfully with this thesaurus.
Which one do you want to use from now on?
I think in like, well, I mean, I didn't even see it was on there, but I was thinking like elated would be pretty good.
Maybe
That's like
enthralled?
yeah. Or
Yeah.
there was another one that was quite good. Beside myself. That's good.
Suspense-filled.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
There's a lot of good ones.
Can I talk about the game?
Yeah, let's do that. You guys stand beside yourselves over there, and we'll talk a bit about what happened.
Can
here,
we
Chad.
just think in this, there's 2 best of 1s, right? But it's 2 maps in a row. So some people are going to say there should be flow-on effects in this. NaVi started this down 12-3 on the CT side of Mirage, and they've come back and they've blown out the water here and grabbed both maps. That's basically, that first map was stolen away from the Ninjas. I think in that first half, I think I might be a little bit critical, or I should be a little bit critical of the amount of force buys we saw coming out from NaVi, but I think they wanted to do that as opposed to opting for those saves. They still had a relatively decent half, but we flip over to the T side. These guys are looking fantastic. The stats show that this was a team game, and it definitely felt like one to me.
Well, the team game itself can be won. That's how it is won, Chad, about team games.
Which country knows more about teams than anywhere else, Trace?
Is this some sort of weird dad joke?
No, North America.
Oh, because we've won a major?
Yeah,
And Australia has how many major, you two?
none.
You don't know
Yeah,
how many majors
none
Australia's.
yet.
All right, I'm over this.
They're working on it.
Nonetheless, yes, indeed. 1 done and dusted here. 2 done and dusted, actually, for NaVi. But in fact, let's talk a little bit about the North American side of things. That's what's going to be coming up next here for the ESL Pro League. So don't you dare tune out. Don't you dare close your browser. We got Energy and Liquid kicking us off, and Liquid's going to even have a double header. In fact, maybe we just breeze right through the secondary stream, too. Got a little bit of Cloud9 and Complexity action. Now, that one poses a question, I think, because the topic of today is Skadoodle stepping down, a little bit of retirement. However, Chad, very quickly, run me through these mainstream results.
Astralis looking hot to trot to kick things off, but that's where the Ninjas, with a much-needed win, were able to bounce back on train. We saw a bit of resurgence out of them. Forrest, Dennis, and Rez, all with some good fragging ability in that one. Obviously, NaVi taking the 4 maps here, just clean against Space Soldiers, who we know perform well online, and the Ninjas games were both close. Some big comebacks, some one-sided affairs there. On the B stream, splitting the series was G2 and Wendigo. Wendigo with, I guess, a very big win, because I guess they just want to stay out of relegation. And then Big with 2 games of theirs off that Star Ladder event that they just finished on the weekend, Trace.
Some might even say that they wanted to win so that they could go, Chad.
Wendigo.
Wendigo. Not to be confused with Dingo or any of that. You guys have any closing words? We're going to send you packing real quick, if you don't mind.
You guys done?
Yeah, I'm elated. I'm excited.
There you go.
I'm ready.
There we go.
That's much better. Let's take a look at now what would be the standings. I believe we can load that up and get out of here relatively quickly, because there's an entire another broadcast coming up here, and hopefully that's what's about to go down. Yes, indeed. Nope. That's North American Matchday number 5.
I thought we
go.
scrapped
All
the
right, there we go.
standings.
Sometimes.
I think we scrapped them.
yeah.
But Lucky Production's quick on the fingers
It's
there.
a test of
Yeah, not
time.
a lot has changed. Obviously, Ninjas have moved around a little bit with that one extra victory they were to pick up, but the fact that they only have 2 wins out of 10 games, that's pretty abysmal. We will be seeing more of Fnatic as the week goes on, and I think, you know, FaZe Clan are still in that position where they're just going to be battling through. I feel like they're going to finish within the top 7.
And they might. But you know what? That road to Odense is actually a long one. It's so long, it's actually an hour and a half, not to be confused with the 3 hours. Chad doesn't really know his bearings and directions.
I was going to walk.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you could do that. Walk right across that bridge in the wintertime. Either way, we're going to walk right out of this studio. That's what's on our agenda, and that does it for ESL Pro League Season 8 European Day number 5. It's now time to hand the reins over to the people on the NA broadcast so they can enjoy this long night. And we'll see you back tomorrow. Same great time, same great place.